All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. It's John Nemo. So excited to be here. So excited to talk to you today about LinkedIn lead generation. If you're not familiar with who I am, let's do a gratuitous book flyby. I'm the author of LinkedIn Riches. Been doing this since 2012. I have other books as well. LinkedIn for franchise consultants. We got LinkedIn for M&A, mergers and acquisition clients, exit planning. I've got ones for business coaches, consultants. So obviously been doing LinkedIn lead generation for a long time, since 2012. And super excited today to kind of share the core approach that will get you clients on LinkedIn quickly without being annoying or spammy or all those different things. So as we get going, I would love to know where you're logging in from and what type of work you do. I like to have very interactive sessions here on the LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live. Want to make sure that I bring as much value as possible for you, answer your questions, give you feedback on your profile. So don't be shy. All right. Let me know in the comments where you're logging in from, what type of work you do. If you have a favorite NFL football team here in the United States, 'tis the season, right? The correct answer is the Minnesota Vikings, right? We all know this is our year. JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson. It's our time. JJ to JJ. We're going to break the curse. We've never won a Super Bowl. Everyone's optimistic. I'm ready to be heard again. Come on, this has to be our year. So again, want to welcome you as you're getting logged in. My name again is John Nemo. Today's session is going to be how to generate leads on LinkedIn without spamming or annoying your connections. Going to be sharing a ton of different tips about how to, create a client-facing profile, how to do really effective LinkedIn messaging, what type of content to create, really covering the full gamut of what works best on LinkedIn. So as you're getting logged in, again, let me know in the comments where you're logging in from, what type of work you do. Of course, Royce is in first. 117 degrees in Mesa. Royce always gives me the weather reports in Arizona. Arizona is my happy place. I love it. I lived there for 2 years of my life right out of college, working for the newspaper, the Arizona Republic. The summers were no joke, as evidenced by the temperature there in Mesa yesterday. Good to see you in here, Royce. Join Royce in the comments for those of you that are logging in right now. Just let me know in the comments where you're logging in from, what type of work you do. I want to make sure that I answer as many questions as possible on today's session. And again, if you haven't already, I'll be putting up links to get the books for free, LinkedIn Riches, the Ultimate Profile Template, lots of different options, lots of different content that we're going to be covering. All right. We got another one in here. All right. Waiting to hear the tips. Alina, welcome. Tell me what type of work you do, where you're from, Alina. We want to know all the details. All right. Good to have you here. Welcome. Again, let me know in the comments where you're logging in from, what type of work you do. Want to be really interactive today. Want to make sure we'll have time for Q&A, all kinds of questions, etc. Make sure I can give you as much feedback as possible. All right, we got Eric. Eric, we've been talking on LinkedIn. All right, welcome, my friend, founder at TaxFile. Remind us again where you're from, Eric. All right, who else we got in here? Terry's jumping in, New Jersey. Jersey. All right, bookkeeping and tax firm. All right, fantastic. Good to have you here. All right, Susan is in, government program specialist. So what does that mean? We're going to talk about this with the LinkedIn headline. I'm government programs for small business owners, or tell us a little bit more, Susan. Now you got us curious. All right, we got John in here, Ohio business coach. Welcome. Who's your team, John? Cleveland Browns? There's plenty of room, John. There's plenty of room on the Vikings bandwagon. Victor, what's that, Victor? The Browns stink? What's that? Kevin Stefanski's a terrible coach? Just kidding. Former Vikings offensive coordinator. Your quarterback room is a mess if you're a Browns fan. All right. Oh, we got a Broncos fan. Aaron is jumping in. Eugene, Oregon, given the weather report, 80 degrees. Respect. John Miller from Texas. All right, welcome. Don't mess with Texas. Texas forever. Friday Night Lights. Have you watched the series Landman? We started watching that. I don't know. It's okay. Billy Bob Thornton. What type of work do you do, John? Let us know here in the comments. All right, Aaron's a bookkeeper. Fantastic. A lot of bookkeepers on. All right, cool. Oh, all right. We got New York, Smart Mobile Notary. Okay. That's obviously the business name, but what's your name, young lady? Nationwide Mobile. That's a good business, a good niche. I love it. Oh, Eric's in Alabama. All right. Is it Roll Tide or War Eagle? Which one is it, Eric? You have to choose. Montgomery, you're probably a Bama fan isn't that closer to Bama? All right, we got Karan from India. Nice. Good to see you, my friend. All right. Medicare. Oh, okay. So those types of programs. Okay, government programs. Susan's got that. All right. We got Eric is in LA, Chargers fan. Sorry about that. Jim Harbaugh's insufferable. I don't know how you deal with him as a coach, but they're good. I mean, he wins. I can't argue with that. Eric, you got to remind me. I know we've talked before. Are you doing the athlete endorsements? Tell us in the chat what you're doing. We'll give you a shout out here. Oh, we got YouTube. All right, Rick, Denver, Colorado. Broncos fan, Denver, Rick. What type of work do you do? Tell us. All right, Melissa's here. Okay, Melissa is smart. Notary. Love it. Oh, yeah, John does gym fitness. We have talked. Okay, digital marketing. Love it. War Eagle. All right. Cam Newton carried you guys to a nice national Alabama and Auburn football games, man. What is it called? The Iron Bowl? Those are so much fun. I live in Minnesota. Now I'm on football tangents, but to see those games and how much those fan bases hate each other, I just love it. And as a Minnesota fan, we hate Wisconsin. So if anyone on here's from Wisconsin, apologies in advance, but we hate you. All right, we got how do we spit? Nathaniel? Give us a pronunciation guide, Mr. Costa. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Fantastic. The NFL is back. Go Rams. Oh, boo hiss. India, U.S. tax filing. Okay. Welcome, Ramesh. All right. We got a lot of people hopping on. I love it. So again, my name is John Nemo. For those of you just jumping into the live stream, I'm the author of LinkedIn Riches. Been doing LinkedIn lead generation since 2012. We're going to cover today on the live session is really how to generate leads on LinkedIn quickly without being spammy, sleazy, annoying your connections. Kind of the proven path, the proven formula, the blueprint that we found works so well. Yes. Athlete endorsements. Yes, we have been emailing Eric. Yeah, okay. Good. Good to see you, my friend. Okay, so without further ado, keep chatting away. The way that today's going to work, I'm going to be off camera at times, presenting and sharing things, and then I'll be back on live and doing a lot of interaction. So as we go, if you have questions, put them in the comments. I should also introduce Rebecca Arco. She's here. She's live in the comments. Becca, jump in the comments if you're here. She is our VP of Client Strategy and Business Development, part of the Nemo Media Group team. Becca Arco is amazing. She's a superstar. She's the best ever. And I'm not saying that just because I have to say that because it's true. And she will be here. She'll be providing links, answering questions. One of the challenges with doing these live streams, especially on LinkedIn, is I can't type comments into LinkedIn while I'm live streaming. I can show you on screen. I can talk to you. But Becca will be able to answer questions in the LinkedIn feed, the comments. So here's Becca. Everyone say hello to Becca. She's amazing. She'll be able to answer tons of questions too. All right. So we've got lots more coming in. Sanjay's here. Okay. Business cost reduction. Welcome. Denver, Colorado. We got War Eagle Eric. All right. Okay. Very cool. I like this. Yeah. Tax preparing. Love it. All right. Nathan is easier in English. Okay. Well, there you go, Nathan. Thanks for working with me, buddy. All right. Love it. All right. Oh, we got, okay. NetSuite partner. I don't know what NetSuite is. Glazius, you have to tell us. All right. We got more folks coming in. All right. We got a funnel builder. Advik, nice to see you. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to dive in. I want to make sure that we have tons of time for today's training. So this first session, we're going to talk about here in this video. I'm going to walk through kind of the story behind all of this, how I got started, how I figured out 12 years ago to start using LinkedIn to generate leads. And then most importantly, kind of the templates, the approaches, the models that you can take and run with right now to kind of start getting quick wins. So without further ado, let's dive in. So just in case, if you're not familiar with me, if you're not familiar with my story, I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to be a LinkedIn lead generation guy, and I'm going to get featured in Inc. magazine and the New York Times and on LinkedIn's blog, talking all about LinkedIn lead generation, right? That's where I am today. That's where I've ended up. In fact, even the robots love me. Even AI, if you put in, or at least recently somebody shared this as a screenshot, who are the best lead generation experts to talk to about LinkedIn lead gen? ChatGPT actually put me number one on their list. So there you go. I got that going for me. The AI loves me. And where that's led to now today is having a full-scale, done-for-you LinkedIn lead generation agency. Yes, I have incredible fashion sense. That's just a side benefit of working with us is my Zubaz pants. But I've rewritten LinkedIn profiles for a lot of big-name people, Bob Berg and John Lee Dumas and lots of other people have a whole full service agency. We have a lot of fun. And the core thing that you want to know is we've helped countless, small business owners and consultants and others, get incredible results from LinkedIn, making 5 and 6 figure sales. So there's a lot behind the tips that I'm going to teach you today, what I've learned, how it all works. And I really want to start with my own story, where this all came from, because it's going to show you how to use LinkedIn. And the whole thing started, it's a crazy story, back in 2012. And at that point, like a lot of people, I was working a safe 6-figure day job. I didn't have to do anything different. I could kind of, put my career on cruise control. But I really had this hunger. Every single day when I would come home from work, and I actually have a picture of it because it so resonates. My 3 boys would run to the front door. They were really young at the time, all under the age of 10, and they would yell, "Daddy's home!" And here they are mobbing me at the door. And it was killing me being at this corporate job, commuting across town, all that. And then I felt like it was missing my kid's childhood. And so I really decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a shot at this. I want to build work around my life instead of the other way around. So what I did was I quit a safe 6-figure day job. I had enough money for 30 days. I had a whole 1 client. And again, this is back in 2012. So I quit my job. I have enough money for 30 days and 1 client. We also had no savings. In fact, we probably had about 20 or 30 grand in credit card debt. But I said, forget it. I'm going to try it, right? That's just my personality, not the recommended blueprint if you want to go into business on your own. But it's what I did, right? And so I also told myself, at that point in my career, I can always go get another day job. I want to take my shot. And so I opened Nemo Media Group. I had a very exciting first office, very high end. Hopefully you can see an image of it right now, but it was my laptop on top of an empty Super Pretzel box. That was the office, the first office for Nemo Media Group. It was just me in a corner bedroom. And what I realized when I did this back in 2012 was there was an opportunity with LinkedIn that I didn't see other people utilizing. And I really wanted to take advantage of this, and that's what I did. And using the approaches I'm going to show you in this video and in this presentation, I was able in those first 90 days back in 2012 by myself, sitting in a corner bedroom, with the soft pretzel box in my laptop, I was able to generate $135,000 in new business, new clients from just random people on LinkedIn. So I was able to replace my day job and I was able to start building a business, and I never looked back. And so I really want to walk through how this works and what the first key step was. And what I realized back then, and what is still true today, is your LinkedIn profile is where everything starts. If you don't have a really well done LinkedIn profile, you're kind of dead in the water. It's like, inviting people to a party at your house and your house is under construction or dilapidated or it's missing the door, right? And people are scared to go inside because something might fall on their head. So you've got to have a really good LinkedIn profile. And the big eye opener for me, the big change that I made was turning my LinkedIn profile away from being a resume, which is still what you see so many LinkedIn profiles today. They are like an online resume. You talk in the third person, you lead with your job title, you lead with descriptions of everything you do all day, every day. And of course, the only problem with that is no one cares. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. They only care about themselves, morning, noon, and after supper. That is a quote directly from Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I literally built my entire business off that quote, that nobody cares about you, nobody cares about me, they only care about themselves. And so with every aspect of my business, I've always tried to figure out, how do I implement that? How do I apply that? When it came to my LinkedIn profile, I quickly realized, man, my LinkedIn profile reads like a resume. It's just all about me and the different jobs I've worked. And again, the only problem is if I want to use LinkedIn for business and to get clients, I got to make it all about them and what I can do for them and the key problems I can solve. So I really started here. I started with understanding the one client I had at the time was a debt collector. And so I'm pulling up the part of my profile. I had worked for a couple of years for a debt collection trade association, doing public relations and social media and video and all kinds of stuff. And in those couple of years, I really learned a ton about the industry. And I talked to debt collectors all day, every day. And I realized, oh, okay, I now have an education in this industry. There's no learning curve. I know how it works. I know what the pain points are of a debt collection agency owner in terms of sales and lead generation and marketing and websites. because I would talk to them all day, every day. And so again, when I started my own business, I only had the one client who owned a debt collection agency. He had met me through this trade association and was like, when you go on your own, I'm going to be your first client. And sure enough, he was. So what I did with my LinkedIn profile, and this is the first really key thing you want to do, is really repurposing each part of it to appeal to a target audience. One simple place to do that, let me show you, is with your LinkedIn headline. So what you do is, most people, again, their LinkedIn headline is going to say something like, CEO, Nemo Media Group, or whatever. Or some people will try to be really clever with their LinkedIn headline and say lead generation ninja, or they'll try to write like a couple of long sentences, filled with hyperbole and, industry jargon and things like that. And what I have really found, doing this over the last 12 years, is that you want to have a LinkedIn headline that basically does two simple things. Part one is you talk about the service you provide in your LinkedIn headline. And the second part is you say who it's for. So service I provide, and then the target audience I serve. So if you look at my LinkedIn headline right now, it's super simple. I provide this service, done for you LinkedIn lead generation. That is the service I provide. Who do I provide it for? Small business owners and consultants. So that was the first key step, was a simple thing of changing my LinkedIn profile headline. And that's something you can do right now while we're talking. Again, just use that simple formula, the service I provide plus the target audiences that I serve. All right. Yeah. And I'm going to come back in here live because I want to test this right now. Let's do some homework here in the moment. Let me put this up again. So put into the comments right now, fill in the blanks for me. We're going to change your LinkedIn headline as we're doing this live session. So the service you provide for a target audience. Let's test this, and I'm going to give you immediate feedback on what you put in. Again, this is your LinkedIn headline right under your photo and your name. So it's not meant to be a bunch of long sentences. It's meant to be something within 1 second a person can scan and look at and go, oh, okay, I get it. This is the service the person provides and, who they provide it for. So it might be, accounting and bookkeeping for New Jersey-based small businesses. That might be one, right? Or it could be SEO and website development for insert, a couple of niche audiences. The key to this, because you see so many LinkedIn headlines that kind of go the wrong way, is not to have a bunch of hype and hyperbole and promises and run-on sentences. It just have a couple of key phrases. One is in layman, simple terms, what it is, the actual service you provide, and then who it's for. And the reason this matters so much is when someone looks at your invite on LinkedIn, or they see a post from you on LinkedIn, or they find you in the news feed, or they see that you visited their profile, what's going to happen is they're going to see your photo, your name, and then your little headline area. And if your headline area doesn't show that person what's in it for them to connect with you, they're not going to connect. And if it's not clear, they're just going to move on. A confused prospect will never buy, right? So you've got to make it super clear to me as a prospect, well, what's in it for me if I even connect with you? Oh, okay. If I connect with John Nemo, LinkedIn lead generation tips, right? Done for you LinkedIn lead gen for small businesses and consultants. Okay. Well, I'm a small business owner and a consultant. I want to know more about getting clients on LinkedIn. Okay. I'll connect with this guy. So that's kind of the simple approach to it. So let's throw a few up here. All right, Advik, you're going to be my first victim. Okay. So I would say, so let's break this down. So this is more like for the about section. This is more, so helping coaches. Okay. So high ticket acquisition specialist. So I would take some of the key phrases out of here. I would, for the front of your headline, Advik, I'd put done for you funnels plus client acquisition for business coaches and consultants. So the first couple phrases would be the service. So, done for you funnels, and then just put like a plus for the other service. Done for you funnels plus client acquisition, and then say for FOR, the audience, business coaches, consultants. All right. So then we've got, Bernardo, we've talked before. Done for you. You could just do DFY, AI automation for small businesses and consultants. That's solid. That's really solid. If you can niche it even more, so like for maybe an industry type for healthcare-based small businesses, or a geographic, if that's an issue for Minnesota-based small businesses. And if you can niche the consultant type more, like for healthcare consultants, for business consultants, for SEO consultants, for franchise consultants. Like that just helps. Let's put John Miller up here. Yeah, you guys are doing good. I like this. Membership, I would take out the new, or I would say membership retention plus new member edition. I don't know. Membership retention for gyms and fitness centers. Yeah, absolutely. That's the benefit. How do you do that though? What's the service? So the service is, is it some digital? I can't remember. It's like digital marketing plus membership retention for gyms and fitness centers. Maybe that's one. All right. Alina's got lead gen strategist for SME. SME, that's like a European term, isn't it? Is that small and medium enterprises, or what does that mean again? Sorry, United States, I wouldn't know what that means, or at least I don't. I'm kind of a knucklehead. Lead gen strategy. So I would say lead generation strategy for, and I'd probably spell out what that is or get more niched on the businesses. But yeah. Okay, so Eric's got software as a service provider for tax professionals. Yeah, I mean, software as a service provider, like, I like the word software too. So maybe, yeah, like I would say, like, I'd want to know more about what the software is, but it's solid. Yeah, tax, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, we got more. Kiran, done for you educational email courses for software as a service founders. So you could say something like online course builder, online courses. Yeah, you guys are getting it. You're welcome, John. Or sorry, Bernardo. Yeah, digital marketing plus membership retention for gyms and fitness centers, John, would work good. All right. And then we got, was it Stephanie? I can't remember. So that's the first thing. Like, you've got your personal profile as you got your business name in there. I would change that because you can have a company page that says Smart Mobile Notary. I'd put your first and last name in there. And I apologize, I can't remember your name. I'm terrible with names. I'm going to call you Stephanie. I don't remember what it was. I would put your name in there next to your photo because we want to do business with people. We want to do business with you, with your photo is you. So that's just a little quick tip. Yeah. Mobile notary services. Yeah. DFY to abbreviate, done for you mobile notary. I don't know what APOSTILLE. I don't know what that means. If your audience knows what that means, that's totally fine. But remember, when in doubt, go simple. Like if a knucklehead like me can't understand or doesn't know what apostille services is, make sure that the people in the legal industry and business world use that phrase every single day. But yeah, that's solid. Yep. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you. I did SME. I know what it means. I'm not an idiot. Okay. Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So we've got more here. Yeah. Done for you funnels. Yeah. That's solid. I don't think you need to do the DM coach for free training. That just feels a little bit like hyperbole, but not bad. Okay. So Sanjay, yeah, I would take out the I help because remember, you just want to do the service plus the target audience here. So cost reduction services for business owners and CFOs. That's what I would say. As far as like getting into the value and the benefit and no risk and no, like that can go in the about section, which we'll talk about in a minute. All right. Terry, yeah, I would take this out. I would say, I thought you'd do accounting and bookkeeping. So I would say accounting and bookkeeping for real estate professionals. I wouldn't do the exciting all-inclusive. Like that's more for the about section. Yeah, people are saying thank you. You're welcome. But I'm bringing value. I told you guys, right? All right, you're welcome. You're Melissa, a.k.a. Stephanie. All right. I'll go through a couple more and then we got more training to get to. That's good. Yeah, this is good, Alicia, we'll go with. Content writer and copywriter for health and skin. Yeah, very solid. Very good. Very good. Love it, love it, love it. Consumer financing for business clients. So I would get more. Who are the business clients, Walter? That's what I would say. Like what type of businesses? Small businesses, chiropractors, dentists. Like give me more. The riches are so in the niches, which I'm going to show you in the next training. And then you can't, success guaranteed. I wouldn't put that in the headline, Ellen, just because it's kind of hyperbole or kind of markety sounding. I would just put the IIBA certifications training for whatever it is, the type of professional. Eric, how about a software as a service? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yep. Software as a service for tax professionals. What type of software? Like, what does it do? That's what I would want to know if I was a tax pro. Like, is this for accounting, bookkeeping, tax filing? Like, why do I need this software? What does it compete with? And again, I know it's your LinkedIn headline, but just a couple word description. All right. All right. Good. All right. So what I want to do, I want to make sure we have enough time to get through all the training. So that's the headline. All right, good. I love the participation. You guys all win a participation ribbon. All right, so in this next section, I want to go deeper into kind of how this all looks on your profile from the headline on down, how to really get the riches and the niches. And we'll use a great example of a former client of ours. Former client, she fired us because we got her too many leads. We got her too many leads and too much business too quickly on LinkedIn. So Catherine fired us because she's like, I can't handle all the business. Her husband came to work for her. It's an incredible story. And obviously it's the greatest problem ever for us as a lead generation agency to get fired for doing our job too well. But I want to take you through kind of how we applied what I'm talking about with this client facing profile to a specific situation. So we're going to walk through Catherine Bishop's story, accountant, bookkeeper, CFO, CPA situation, and you're going to see how and why this works so well. So let's dive in. I'm going to illustrate this really quick with a client of ours, Catherine Bishop. And I love Catherine's story. Literally within 90 days of starting working with me on Done For You LinkedIn Lead Gen, she told me to turn off the campaigns. She's like, stop. I've got too many leads. I got too many clients. This is working too good. Turn it off, which of course is the greatest problem ever. The great part about Catherine's story is her husband actually ended up quitting his day job to come work for her. Right. And 2 years after we stopped working with her, she's still getting new clients. Obviously, the headline is key. And when you look at Catherine's, again, the riches are really in the niches with LinkedIn. So for her, instead of saying Catherine Bishop, CEO, BlackBerry Accounting, or, the business name or whatever it was, or Catherine Bishop, just accountant, I niched it to a certain industry, construction, accounting, and bookkeeping. That's the service and the audience. Construction, payroll, and taxes. That's a service and an audience, right? Tax prep and planning. And notice the visuals. I put in little kind of construction related emojis to really help it, pop visually so she could see, or when a client looked at it, they could see, oh, okay, this is what she does. This is familiar to me. Even her LinkedIn background header that I made for her years ago was a construction job site with the words, right, of the service: construction, accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and more. So again, think about this, how the riches are really in the niches with a profile. She's all about this targeted niche audience of construction companies, contractors, etc. And the reason it works so well is because of her story. And that's what I want to get into here with the next part of the profile, is really explaining what makes you unique, different, and better, and why a certain audience is going to resonate with you. And now I know one key thing people always bring up is, well, wait, I'm hearing you say the riches are in the niches with LinkedIn, but I don't want to niche myself too much. I can be everything to everybody. Everyone needs an accountant, right? And this is a good example with Catherine. She does accounting for everyone. Like, she can do it for any type of business. Accounting practices and principles are the same, right? In general, tax strategies, saving strategies are the same, even across a niche of small business owners, right? So why would I niche her so much to construction, accounting, and bookkeeping? Isn't she leaving money on the table, right? Isn't this a bad thing if we niche her too much? Well, if you ask her, like, no, right? Like, she has so much business in this one niche. Her husband quit his job to come work for her. She's still getting clients 2 years after not, stopping with us because she had too much business already. The riches are in the niches. And if you just use LinkedIn to really appeal to one or two, maybe three target audiences to really stand out, you can be a big fish in a small pond. So let me explain to you how this actually works and how you can apply it to your profile right now. So as I mentioned, I niched Catherine to the construction audience because of her story. So, I put a lot of it in her actual profile, but again, where she talks about her story, let me get to it. Her dad was a contractor, right? So her dad was a contractor growing up. Her mom was a CPA, match made in heaven. But literally, she had to be on the job sites every weekend for her dad at 8 a.m. So every Saturday, 8 a.m. growing up, that was her place. She had to be on the job site, picking up nails, carrying boards, whatever, helping her dad with his construction business. She literally grew up in the industry. She grew up working in her family's construction business. So if you own a construction business, if you are a contractor, if you are a home builder, how cool is it to know that your accountant literally grew up in the industry and worked for her dad? And oh, by the way, her mom was a CPA that did the books for her dad's business. Now, you want to convey all that in a way that really appeals to your target audience. So let's walk through what that looks like. So the first sentence of your about section on your LinkedIn profile, this is what I love to use. And write this down, take a screenshot, whatever you want to do. Use all capitals to say what I do. And the reason I like all capitals is when we read on LinkedIn, we go up and down very fast, right? So again, you want to have your text stop the scroll and stand out. You're going to do that with these capital phrases like what we do, where you've seen us, and emojis. You can see the emojis here that really pop and show, some different things to illustrate people talking, whatever. But you'll see as you scroll up and down, a lot of white space in some of these all capital letters. So the first line, you want to say what I do, or if you're representing a company, what we do. And then I want you to use this kind of fill in the blank template. What I do, I help your target audience, right, achieve their goal, something they want, by providing my product or service. So it's very simple. For me, I help small business owners and consultants generate leads on LinkedIn and get quality clients by providing done-for-you LinkedIn lead gen, right? Very simple thing. The next part, and again, you can use this template. You can rearrange these sections depending on what stands out most about you. So for example, if you have a bunch of big name clients, a bunch of accolades, a bunch of media credits, then use that. So for example, on mine, right, I've been featured in a bunch of big name publications that will resonate with my target audience. So I'm putting that up high, where you've seen us or where you've seen me, Business Insider, New York Times, etc. Or if you've got great client testimonials, you're going to say what clients say, and you're going to put those up high. Now, it depends on your business and what makes you unique, different, and better. So again, with Catherine, she didn't necessarily have a bunch of big name clients or media accolades, so we skipped that. But what she did have was something that made her really unique. So again, this is a fill in the blank. What makes me unique? You explain that. She said, I've got big firm experience working at Deloitte and Duke Energy, which, obviously huge companies, especially in the South. She lives in North Carolina, so everyone knows. Obviously, Deloitte is, international, but Duke Energy is big there, where I implemented projects that saved the company $300 million. Okay. Oh, wow. So at a very big level, she worked on projects that saved, big companies hundreds of millions of dollars. I've even taught accounting at the college level, and I have a CPA and a master's. So right there, you're saying that makes her different than a lot of everyday accountants as she's worked for these big companies. So again, what makes you unique, different, and better? And then we talked about the story, industry experience. And again, notice the unique kind of construction themed emojis to help visually have it pop. And again, you tell the story, grew up on the contractor sites. As a result, why does this matter? I really have expertise around the unique, industry challenges. It was the same thing for me with the debt collectors. When I first started marketing myself on LinkedIn, I was saying, listen, debt collection agency marketing services, what makes me unique? Having spent 2 years working for the largest trade association in the debt collection industry, I have unparalleled insight into and understanding of the unique challenges debt collection agencies faced. And that instantly built trust and rapport because, again, a prospect wants to feel like you've walked in their shoes. So some of the other, elements that you can put into your profile, let's keep going, where you've seen my work. So if you have big name clients, you can list them out and use unique emojis. You can also talk about what makes you unique, which we talked about there. Again, I'm using examples here. Services I provide. So I like listing out the services you provide, again, as a bullet list. And these are services that your clients are interested in. So again, maybe if you're in accounting and CPA, you can say these things: accounts payable and receivable, cash flow analysis, financial reviews, whatever. For Catherine, we did it very construction themed, right? So construction accounting, bookkeeping, construction cost control, and job costing. You know what your clients are looking for in terms of services, so you can put it in there. Again, problems I solve, you can even try that. Time management challenges or dysfunctional dynamics. Like, you can list out these bullet lists of items of what you do, the problems you solve. Maybe you want to say benefits my clients realize. So that can be where you talk about these are the benefits they realize. If you're a coach or a consultant, that works with teams and companies, right? Increase this, increase that. Words like increased or improved are great, right? And then an actual tangible benefit, right? Increased productivity, increased profitability. Use that. So who I work with, this is another one. You can then list out the types of audiences. And these are just examples from client profiles that I've rewritten, but you can see how clear cut this is. If I'm scanning up and down, this isn't a resume. This isn't you talking in a third person. It's, oh, okay, this is what they do. This is who they work with. I can self-identify. If I'm a property manager and I see that you work with property managers, I immediately trust you more and you have more credibility because, oh, good, you work with people just like me, right? Or industries I work in, right? You can say, these are the industries I serve and what I do. For client testimonials, put a few of those in, have it say what others say, and just paste that in and use a little talking emoji. It's super important. I see this a lot with testimonials. Use the full name and the company name so that people can actually verify it's a real human. Don't just put like Catherine, accountant, because you can be making that up. So use a real name and then just a simple little call to action. Ready to talk. Here's where to connect, all that good stuff. So again, this all goes in your about section. Your about section and then your experience section. You can see what a difference that makes scanning up and down, being able to see. You can also put in a section, my story, kind of a quick little story, ready to talk. One thing I would really recommend is in your experience section, being able to list multiple audiences. So this is something where, again, you've got your company here, and then you're going to have positions. So for me, because I use, different multiple audiences, I've got one experience or position listing for small business owners. I've got another one for consultants and business coaches. It's the same service, but I'm just niching it more to those audiences. So in this one, it's all about small business owners. In this one, it's all about coaches and consultants with specific examples, testimonials, and services for those audiences. This one's for franchise consultants. This one, might be for whatever else. So again, under your experience section, this is how you can hit multiple audiences. You can have, consultants. Again, it's the same service in each one, but it's different audiences, different examples, different testimonials. And you, again, find that under experience. Just keep adding positions and you can keep creating that. And that's really what goes into having this client-facing profile where now when people look at it, they immediately know from looking at your headline and your about section, what's in it for me? What does this person do? Do they work with people like me? What services do they provide? Would I even want to connect with them? All that, goes through a prospect's mind, and you want to answer that question for them up front. So there you go. That's a quick look at profiles. I got more to share with you here in a second. All right. So I want to make sure, Becca put, if you're watching live on LinkedIn, in the comments in LinkedIn, there's a clickable link. And I'll also put up a banner. You can get a fill in the blank template. It's called our Ultimate LinkedIn Profile. So either click, if you're on LinkedIn, look in the comments, and Becca Arco shared a direct link to the template. It's a downloadable PDF. Otherwise, go to linkedinriches.com/free. And then you can also see it there. There's a bunch of our books are up there for free. There's also a LinkedIn profile template. That's a great tool, and I'll share a little bit more about it in a minute here. But that's a great tool that you can use to kind of fill in the blanks with everything we just covered. Now, I want to see what you got. So let's put this into practice. Let's test you out. Put in the comments. Let's practice, and I'll give you some live feedback here. Fill in the blank for the first sentence. This would be the first sentence of your about section. What I do. And then you'd say, I help. And then insert, 1 to maybe 3 target audiences achieve 2 to 3 benefits they want by providing my product or service. So for example, it could be reduce their tax liability, increase profitability, and generate more revenue by providing, keeping, accounting, and tax services, right? Or I help tax preparation professionals save time and reduce overhead spend by providing custom software as a solution, platforms to enter taxes or whatever it might be. So again, put some of that in the comments, and I'm happy to share feedback and help you craft that, because that first sentence of your LinkedIn profile is key. It is so, so important. So again, and if you haven't already, go to linkedinriches.com/free, or Becca put like a longer direct link in there where you can kind of just enter your name and email, and then we'll email you the profile template as well. But yeah, short term right now, if you want feedback, put that in the comments. Let's see what you can do here. What I do, I help insert those couple of target audiences. And then again, this goes back to the Dale Carnegie. What's a benefit they want? Think in terms of, increase revenue, reduce expenses, generate more leads, add clients. What do they want? Like, don't talk about your service. Talk about what they want. I help this audience get 2 to 3 things they really want, or problems that they solve, right? Remove bottlenecks in their operations, anything like that. By providing, then you put in the product or service last, okay? So an example, John, what I do. So I would say I help gyms and fitness centers add new members and retain existing ones by providing industry-specific digital marketing strategies, right? So something like that, instead of what you have now, would work really good. All right, so let's keep rolling, Sanjay. What I do, okay, again, don't lead with you, right? So lead with what I do. I help. Who's the clients? So it would be I help 2 to 3 target audiences. Like, I help XYZ type business reduce vendor costs, reduce expenses. I help XYZ type businesses reduce expenses and increase profitability by providing cost reduction services or risk-free cost reduction. So hopefully that helps. It has to be a little nuanced, right? But again, you want to lead with, I help this type of target audience, because it's all about them. Remember, they're going to self-identify. So I don't care about Schoolie Mitchell. I want to solve my cost reduction issues. So, and I don't even know, can you even help someone like me, Sanjay? I don't know. I have a small business in Minnesota. Could you even help me? Would you even know anything about me? Or I'm a contractor. If you can put in those niche audiences and say, I help contractors, or I help Minnesota-based small businesses, then our ears perk up, because we're like, oh, he's talking about me. What's my favorite topic in the world? Me, my business, right? All right, so I love these. Okay, so what I do, I help coaches and consultants generate leads and plus close, high-ticket clients by providing done-for-you client acquisition via Facebook ads and done-for-you funnels. Yeah, something like that. You're definitely on the right track there, Advik. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I got more. So put in the comments more if you want more, because listen, we got so much training to get through, and I know we're already 40 minutes in. So what I want to do is I want to share just a quick tip on how to be able to use. Okay, we'll throw a couple more up. Okay. Oh, wow. Don's got one. All right. So again, all right, let me get feedback on a couple more. So you want to start with what I do, Don. So what I do, I help. I would lead with the fractional CFO, because it's hard to talk to individual consumers or couples on LinkedIn. What I do, I help small to medium-sized businesses. Then you got reduce expenses, get their books in order, and provide planning by providing fractional CFO. Yeah. You're close. What I do, I help good property managers, and there's your audience. Yep. Produce custom financials. Yeah, that's good, Terry. That's very solid. All right. People want more. All right. We got shouting. I love it. More with all caps. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Eric, what we do. Okay. So I would say I help tax preparers. What are the 2 to 3 benefits they get from tax file? What are the benefits they get? I help tax preparers A, B, and C by providing tax file software solutions. All right. Good. Okay. So without further ado, let's dive into another training. I want to share a little bit more on some quick wins for your profile, how to get some emojis lined up, and keep going. All right. I'm glad. Rick says this is super helpful. Thank you, Denver Rick. All love. All right. Melissa says more. Look at Melissa already changed her name. Way to go. Can I still call you Stephanie? Okay. Here we go. Let's get into more. I want to show you just a real quick trick with our friend ChatGPT for your profile page. So, if you're like, I don't know how to pick out the right emojis, and how do I get the right ones, and how do I do it tastefully, and how do I make sure all this looks good, go into ChatGPT and put in a bullet list. So in this case, basically, let's say these are different types of companies I work with, whatever my service is. And you just have a simple prompt for the bullet list below, insert a unique emoji related to each item it describes. And then you just hit submit, and it will spit the list back out, and it'll instantly have kind of tasteful emojis, right? So builders, construction, hospitals, business coaches. Now, maybe you don't like that one, so you can tell it to change it, financial planners or banks. So again, you can say, let's go down here and say, I don't like the one for business coaches. Show one with a person. And then it'll try again, right? And then it'll put one in front of, a coach, someone teaching. And then if you're still not sure, what you can do is you can say, give me a list of business related emojis. And it'll just spit out a ton of them, and then you can copy and paste them. So this is another tip for you where it'll literally say, okay, here's any and all emojis related to business. So then, like, if you're doing something about increased profitability, you can grab that. Or if you want to say consulting, you can get a briefcase, right? So again, you can get ideas from AI to quickly kind of help you organize some of these lists. So we've talked a lot about your LinkedIn profile, and I can go much deeper on that. In fact, here, let me show you a new window. If you want, I have multiple free books on this. So again, just go to nemomediagroup.com, and you can actually get the Ultimate LinkedIn Profile Template. That's everything I was showing today. You can actually get a copy of any of my books, right? I've got one for business coaches, franchise consultants. LinkedIn Riches is for small business owners and everyone else. Just click on one of the images, and then you can download the free template if you want to go deeper. I don't want to do it all on this call, obviously. If you want fashion advice, I'm here to help. Zuba's pants for life, right? Minnesota Vikings are going all the way. This is our year. Don't stop me. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. So let me come back. Again, if you want more tips, just go to nemomediagroup.com and you can grab more free resources. They're just here on the homepage. So when we talk about LinkedIn, obviously starting with your profile, and we've touched on that. Once that's ready, really all the money on LinkedIn is in the mailbox. This is one of the great things that you're going to feel good about after being on this webinar, is that you don't have to do everything else. LinkedIn has all these different features and all these different things. And I know there's a million and one gurus that are going to tell you, okay, you need to publish 700 pieces of content a day, and you need to go in and comment on everyone's posts, and you need to spend 4 hours a day, liking things and blah, 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 blah. And I'm here to tell you, having done this since 2012, let me just check. I have done this since 2012. I've seen every feature possible on LinkedIn that they've added. You need to, go in and you need to write this many articles, and you need to do short form videos, and you need to do, this and that and this and that. And it's like, I'm just going to tell you, all you need to do is one-on-one messaging. If you want clients, if you want business on LinkedIn, all you need to do is one-on-one messaging. All the money is in the mailbox. So with that said, obviously you need to know who to send your one-on-one messages to. And again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on how to find your leads on LinkedIn. That could be a whole training in itself. I recommend that you get Sales Navigator, which is an add-on premium product. And then you can go in and you can build lists of all your ideal leads. So you can literally go in and you can tell LinkedIn, I want people, who have this type of job or this job title or this seniority level. They've been in this role for this many years. Even they've recently changed jobs. They've recently posted anything and everything. They went to this school, there's so many different filters. So it's not hard. It's not a problem to find prospects on LinkedIn. There's over 1 billion people on here. Now you can use the basic search and you get some good filters if you want to start there. I really recommend Sales Navigator. I don't get any stock or any kickbacks. If you're serious about it, and this is what we use for our clients, I would definitely use that. And then again, once you have lists of prospects, you're just going to reach out one-on-one with messages. And I want to spend a lot of time now talking about what goes into a good one-on-one LinkedIn message. This is it. This is the whole package in one simple sentence. The simple secret to generating leads on LinkedIn is you craft a client attracting profile, which we've covered, and then you use personalized one-on-one outreach that puts the real life you into the engagement. So I'm going to show you that next. The final part is also offering some free content that will demonstrate your expertise and helps people get to know, like, and trust you. I'll cover that in a minute. Right now, I want to talk about the one-on-one outreach because we've covered all the different ways you can do it. And I want to explain now, what do you actually put into a one-on-one message and in-mail, etc. So I use this example. Let's say one of the clients we work a lot of times with is franchise consultants. So that's a niche audience here on LinkedIn. They use us for done-for-you LinkedIn lead generation. So what am I going to say to a franchise consultant on LinkedIn to get them to talk to me? Because we know everyone's getting inundated with messages and offers and spam and all that stuff. So first, I'll obviously build a list of franchise consultants, and then I will send literally one sentence, one line. I'll say, hey, name of consultant, can I send you a free digital copy of my book, LinkedIn Lead Gen for Franchise Consultants? And what that is I literally have an ebook I made just for franchise consultants on how they can use LinkedIn. And the whole point of this is I want to demonstrate expertise and show franchise consultants, hey, if you want to use LinkedIn to get leads, I literally wrote a book on it. Like, you can have it for free. So what I do is I literally just offer that as one sentence. Now, I don't do a bunch of personalizing in the first message. The simple reason is, and I know, a lot of people will say to you, well, listen, John, the best thing you can do on LinkedIn is go look at the person's profile and put a bunch of personal commentary in there, talk about, oh, I see you live in Minneapolis and I see, you work here and you went to this school, and all of that is great, by the way. Talk about where I went to college and, where high school and, different things I volunteered at. Those are all great, but you don't want to do that first. The reason being, if you reach out to a prospect on LinkedIn and you do all that extra work to hyper personalize your messaging and say, hey, I was looking at your profile. I see you live in Minneapolis. I see you went to this university. Do you still follow the sports team? Hey, it's really cool that you volunteer there. I do that too. I see you live here. How's the weather? All of that's great, and all of that will get people to respond to you. But what if they're not a prospect? What if they don't need your service? What if they're not looking right now? What if they don't want to buy? As my brother-in-law, who's a great salesman, taught me years ago, he's like, I don't need more friends. I need more clients, right? So you can make friends and do all that, but it's going to take so much time. So what I do, my first message is a qualifier. It is kind of generic, right? But it basically is qualifying them. Can I send you a free digital copy of this free piece of content? Or I'll say, hey, insert their name. Can I send you my best free tips on blank, which is something they would want. So my best free tips on how this target audience can get a benefit they want. So really the one sentence message that you start with is, hey, can I send you my best free tips on blank? Or can I send you this free content I've created that helps you get this outcome? You're wanting to use these messages to qualify. Think about this. If someone says yes, they're interested in the content, now I know they're a lead. Because if they're saying, yeah, I want to know more about how to use LinkedIn to get leads as a franchise consultant, guess what I do? I help franchise consultants get leads. Or if they say, yes, I am interested in tips on how to do ABC, since you provide that service behind those tips, now you know they're interested. That's when I go deeper. So then I'll follow up and say, hey, great, here's a link to the free content. And then I'll say also, unless LinkedIn is misleading me, because again, sometimes people have things listed wrong on their profiles. I always just cover my bases and say, unless LinkedIn is misleading me, it looks like you live in Chicago, and then I'm a sports guy, so I joke, my apologies in advance if you're a Chicago Bears football fan, right? And now I love sports, so I'm going to gravitate toward that, but there's plenty of other things you can do. You can see, hey, here's the free content. Also, I see you live in Chicago. I'm planning a trip there with my family. Just be a real person. What would you say in real life if you met someone from Chicago? What would you ask them? What would you comment about? Would it be the weather, the sports teams, the museums, the universities? You'd have something to say to them. How do you like living in the Midwest? Now, you do that when you know they're interested. So part one of the messaging is, are you even interested in this topic? Do you even want tips on it? Is it even something on your radar? Because you'll have people write back and they're like, actually, I'm retired. I don't use LinkedIn anymore. Well, that's great. That's fine. I can take you off of my list. I don't need to follow up. And again, I didn't spend all the time personalizing the outreach. Now, if this person writes back and says, yes, send over the tips, then I'm going to go look at their profile and I'm going to be able to instantly add some icebreakers. The other thing that we do for clients that I would definitely recommend you do is track all your messaging. So the fortune is really in the follow-up. We create Google Sheets where we track every conversation. So these are all people that I'm talking to on LinkedIn, first name, last name, what their job title is, what campaign they responded to. So I know, oh, I did a campaign offering a case study about this. They responded yes, or they responded yes, they're interested in the book. And then we timestamp everything in terms of, did we offer to book a call? Did we follow up? The fortune's in the follow-up. So for example, if I offer someone a free book, make sure that I follow up here to see what they thought of the book. And not just once, but I'm going to space out the follow-ups every couple days, whatever. And if they say to me, yeah, I'm going to get to the book on Monday, I'll make a note in here and I'll follow up Monday and I'll say, hey, did you have a chance to check out my book over the weekend, or did Netflix get in the way? Haha, like you do a personal follow-up. Because once someone responds, now you can start having a conversation. Yeah, I loved your book. And then you say, well, what resonated? What did you find helpful? I really like the part about changing the profile. I really need to do that. I'm so embarrassed by my profile. It does read like a resume. Ugh. And then I can say, oh, that's so great. I totally can relate. I'm so glad you found that helpful. Well, do you want more advice on how to do that? Did you know we actually rewrite profiles for you? How can we help? Do you want a course on it? And then that's where you can kind of move people into a sales conversation. So again, we track every single engagement, comments, right? What did they say? I'll give you an example of one for a client, just so you can see, these are all people that we're talking to. These are the campaigns, color coded, right? Which event, which message, did we follow up? Did they book a call? Having a second call, talking to them, do they know them, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously we're pulling emails and phone numbers too, because you can do a warm phone call or a warm email, because you can say, hey, I know we've been bantering on LinkedIn. I thought it might just be easier to call you or email you directly, with the whatever you were looking for. So again, the messaging is very simple. Step one is you really just want to qualify them and you want to offer some sort of free content. And then step two is if they say yes, they're interested in the topic or the tips, you deliver the content and you start personalizing the message. In this next section, I want to talk a little bit about how to actually create the type of content that we're talking about here in terms of what people really want, what works well on LinkedIn to get people saying, yes, I want to read that or see that. All right, so I can't believe this, but we're getting up close to the hour. Yeah, Bears fans, sorry. Okay, so before I get into the next section, and hopefully you can stay for a little bonus training, I want to make sure that I give you every opportunity to talk more with us. So let me do this. Couple quick things. If you want more information right now, go to nemomediagroup.com. And I'm actually going to show you just a couple quick things, and then we'll hop back to the training. But I want to make sure before folks have to run that I share this. So share screen. Yes. Okay. I'm going to share the Nemo Media Group page. So if you go to nemomediagroup.com, just click on the big orange button that says Get Leads Now. That will lead you to a quick form, and you can fill that out. It takes about 60 seconds. This is where if you want to see if we can help you, generate leads and or give you specific ideas, just fill out that form. And again, you just click the big orange button, Get Leads Now. If you're in a space where you're like, listen, this all looks awesome. I don't want to do all this myself. I would rather hire Nemo Media Group to do it for me. We would love to hear from you. So that's the idea. Just click one of these orange buttons, Get Leads Now. Fill out that form. It takes about 60 seconds. And then Becca or myself or someone on the team will get back to you. And we'll either say, hey, we've got some specific ideas for you. Here's, some things you can do. Or, hey, let's have a live call. Let's walk through some, strategies. Because obviously we offer a full, done for you service for lead generation, helping clients get 5- and 6-figure deals. So I don't want to, belabor that too much because I know we got more training to get to. But before, if people have to hop off, just go to nemomediagroup.com, click the orange button, fill out the type form. If it's easier to, you can also email me. So just John, John at nemomediagroup.com, or Becca's on here. She can put her email in the comments, or just send Becca or me a LinkedIn DM. If you're on LinkedIn right now, and just say, hey, I want to learn more about the service. Also, obviously we've got, if you go to the free page, just click free, all the books here, all the, everything you can think of, right? So free books, free trainings, podcasts, all that. So I want to get back now. So I'm going to stop the sharing and we'll get back here. Hopefully everybody saw the screen. If you need help, if you want direct help, again, go to nemomediagroup.com, click on the leads button, or just email me, John at nemomediagroup.com. And if you can stick around, I've got more training, right? So I've got more training if you want to be able to come in, and Becca put in the Typeform link. So that'll lead you right to the 60-second form. Also, here's our emails. So you can directly message us. Yeah. So again, just fill those out. There's no obligation or anything for the Typeform. Like, we're not going to come try to do some heavy sales pitch. Like, we basically look at it and try to figure out, do we think we can help you at the done for you level or the done with you level? We need to know more about your business, your model, all that stuff. And then based on what you share in that Typeform, we'll either send you our best free tips and trainings or some specific insights, or we'll reach out and say, hey, let's have a call. You might be a fit for us, and we can go from there. All right. So, this is nice. All right. This is unsolicited. Jeff, thanks, dude. Wow. I wish I could say I planned this and sent Jeff a check, but Jeff's a great client. He said, our done for you service is amazing. Yeah. Thanks, dude. You're the best. Well, that's so nice. I love it. Okay. This is great. You're the best, Jeff. I appreciate the shout out. We love Jeff. He's a great client. Again, so for those of you that can stick around, I got more training. So if you want more, type more in the comments. I want to know if people could stay past the top of the hour. So yes, if you want more, type more in the comments here. You're welcome, Stan, my AI man. I love it. Type more in the comments if you want more, because I do have one more training I wanted to walk through. It'll bleed over the top of the hour. I know some people have a hard stop, but come on, it's Friday. Who wants to work? Stay here with us and have fun. I have more training on content and what the best type of content is for LinkedIn. And I want to make sure people can stay. So just type more in the comments and we can dive into that. Because again, so much of this system, if I was to kind of simplify it for you, it's 3 basic steps. Step 1, client-facing LinkedIn profile. Step 2, one-on-one LinkedIn messaging to your prospects. And step 3, I'm about to share, is the content. What do you actually offer people in these messages? All right, look, we got people. All right, Royce wants more. Peggy wants more. All right, I love it. All right, good. Melissa, aka Stephanie, wants more. Fantastic. All right. John says, how long should the lead magnet be? I'll talk about that in the next section. It'll really depend. Denver Rick wants more. I love it. All right. Everyone wants it. I'm here for the duration. Rick's never leaving. I love it. Okay, good. Yes, I use, Entreport for the lead magnets, CRM, Amazon for self-publishing. Typeform is to qualify leads more. So that's what I'm, linking to here on the Get Leads Now. Yes. All right. Aaron wants more. Okay, good. And I'll stick around after this next training for more Q&A. So if you have deeper questions, you want to go into more, let me know. But right now I want to dive into the content piece, what the best content is to use for LinkedIn lead gen. So let's do it. I want to talk about what type of content to offer people on LinkedIn. Remember, the money's in the mailbox. It's in these one-on-one messages, and you're going to offer some sort of free content, free tips, etc. What should it be? Should it be a video? Should it be a podcast? Should it be, a blog post? Should it be a newsletter? And here's the thing. I've done all of that. We've done it all for myself and for my clients over the last 12 years. Done for you podcasts, YouTube channels, videos, webinars, blogs, articles, you name it, right? I have found time and again across every vertical, every industry, the number one thing that gets the most yes replies on one-on-one LinkedIn messages, far and away right now, and it's been that way for multiple years, is ebooks. And when I say ebook, this is what I mean. It's basically a PDF that is really well written and designed that tells your story and demonstrates expertise. So again, this is an example of Jim, a franchise consultant we work with, what it really takes to succeed in franchise ownership. So this was free content that he offered to corporate executives who were curious about franchising. And it starts with Jim's story, right? Like many great entrepreneurial journeys, mine started with some late night pizza, right? And he talks about his corporate career, and you've got real authentic photos of him. That's the other thing. You want these ebooks to be you, not stock art, not stock images, but the real life you, telling your story, but then also demonstrating expertise. So another example is Carrie Ann Golliver, another franchise consultant we've worked with, where she's going to tell you her story. Here's a guide to navigating, the investment opportunities with franchise consultants. And again, tell your story. So Carrie Ann's ebook starts with, I figured my brother-in-law just had too much wine during dinner. Instead, the phrase he blurted out changed my life. Whoa, what's going on, right? So tell a great story, explain, what happened, tell some tales from the trenches, and then really, help people understand who you are, what you do, why you're the expert at this, and then how and what they can learn from it. And so we've done this across so many different industries, executive presence, sales trainings, right? Female executives, for coaches, leadership ebook. This is one of my favorites. Just the cover is so cool that our designer did. Business and personal growth examples. And again, having great storytelling. Now, these are all ebooks I've written for clients, but you get the idea, right? My career started with a lie. I was 17 years old, boom, whoa, like you got to hook people with a good story. And then again, use real authentic photos, and then demonstrate expertise, leadership principles, leadership lessons, etc. Now, you can also do case studies. You can, do how-to books, like how to make your law firm profitable and fulfilling, right? This is a coach for, attorneys and law firm owners, all about placing you as an expert. So here's another example where we've got a client that does, luxury homes in Arizona. So guess what? We're going to showcase that, but we're also going to niche it to a target audience. So in this case, we're saying it's for out-of-state realtors, the out-of-state realtor's guide to high-end home design. Because you think about people, in the Midwest or East Coast or, wherever they want to build a luxury home in Arizona, they're going to go to their local real estate agent and say, do you know anyone? How do I build a home in Arizona? The idea now with LinkedIn and this client is they're going to use LinkedIn. They're going to reach out to high-end realtors around the country and offer this free ebook. Hey, do you have any, clients that are interested in building a home in Arizona, a vacation home, a second home, whatever? If so, we're happy to share this ebook we put together that gives you all these tips. And again, this ebook goes into depth and shares their process and shares their tips. And then it also shares the story of this company and how they have become, this leader in building homes. So again, that's why I love ebooks is, again, it can be on any topic. Real estate, it can be super niched to your audience. Again, we've done them for everything you can think of, right? Investing, attorneys, retirement planning, 1031 exchanges. Listen, if I can write ebooks about 1031 exchanges, anything is possible. A great ebook is going to do two things. It's going to tell your story so that people get to know, like, and trust you. And it's going to demonstrate expertise so they actually can walk away from it going, oh, okay, well, if I did want to explore franchise ownership, I actually got some tips in here of what to look for and how to do it and everything else. And again, that's the same thing I'm doing with my ebooks when I say to people, hey, do you want a free copy of my book, LinkedIn Riches? It's all about how, small business owners can use LinkedIn, and I'll send you a free digital copy. And what you're going to see is, again, these are the types of replies I get on LinkedIn. They read your book. You did a great job with the book. I want to talk to you. Please send me your calendar and set up a Zoom. Here's why this works. Think about this. If you contact someone on LinkedIn, and again, your first message isn't, I want to meet with you. It isn't a sales pitch. It's, can I offer you some free tips? Can I offer you some free content aimed at solving a problem you have? And they say yes. And if your content delivers on that promise, if it actually does a good job educating them, showing them how to do something, helping them understand how to solve a problem, and it tells your story, and they get to know, like, and trust you because they relate to your story, your journey, your tales from the trenches. Now, by the time they actually get on the phone with you or do a Zoom with you, they've gone through, a 3, 5, 10,000 word ebook all about you. They've already kind of warmed themselves up. They already come in feeling like they know, like, and trust you. And that's why it's so important to qualify prospects with content, because again, it makes your job much easier than well, okay, we connected on LinkedIn and I booked a call, and who are you and what do you do and what makes you unique and different and why would I listen to you and do you even know what you're doing? Have you worked with people like me? Blah, 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 blah. All of that can be answered in that content. So again, that's the one piece of content that you need. You just do it over and over and over again. You take the same ebook and you just offer it again and again and again to prospects on LinkedIn. The beautiful thing about this I love is you don't have to create 50 status updates every day, and you don't have to do, short form videos every day, and you don't have to publish 100 blog posts and all this. You just need one good piece of content that people will be able to read and consume that really helps illustrate who you are, what you do, and why you're good at it. And then you just follow up with them until they read it and go through it. And then they're like, yeah, this is really good. It really resonated. I'd love to see how you could help me with the same thing. So I hope that comes as a relief that you don't have to do all this. Again, if you are publishing tons of content on LinkedIn, and I publish lots of stuff, newsletters, articles, videos, all kinds of stuff. It doesn't hurt you one bit. None of this will hurt you. It's just a lot of work, and it doesn't lead directly to paying clients. Even my own stuff, I publish all the content because it's just good to have awareness and be visible and be out there. But what moves the needle, even for me to this day, is one-on-one messaging. Period. End of story. So that's really what I want to drive home. And as we finish up, I want to just say the 3 key things, if I go back to, my own advice on the secret sauce, it's simply step 1 is having a client-facing profile. And I've given you some tips on how to do that. There's more resources. Step 2 is finding your prospects and doing that one-on-one messaging with that simple kind of one line, one sentence thing where you basically say, do you want these free tips? And then offering some sort of free content that demonstrates your expertise and helps people get to know, like, and trust you. If you do that, if you just do the simple 3 steps in here, you're going to have more business than you know what to do with. And you can wear a popcorn bucket on your head if you want bonus points, right? But I hope that gets you fired up. I hope that gets you inspired to really look at LinkedIn differently, to understand what's possible. And most importantly, to go back to the premise of this whole thing, it's going to help you generate leads on LinkedIn without having to be spammy, irritating, or annoying. Because again, you're not doing anything that would irritate people. All you're doing is you're reaching out to people one-on-one, you're offering content in one sentence, you're asking permission. Notice in these messages, I'm not including the ebook. I'm not assuming the person wants the ebook. I didn't include the PDF. I didn't include a download link. I asked permission so they can just very politely say, no, thanks, not for me, not interested, I'm retired, whatever. Nobody ever gets mad at this. No one's getting mad at this one line of, oh, you want to send me free tips? How dare you, right? Like, there's nothing about this that is going to be spammy or pushy or sleazy, or again, you're not asking for anything. You're not asking for an appointment. You're not asking for them to fill out anything. You're just simply saying, are you interested in this topic? Can I send you tips? If they say yes, then you nurture it along, move it forward. So I hope that fires you up. I would love to hear your thoughts on all this. And we'll go from there. All right. I love it. I'm back live. So I want to make sure that we have time for questions as well. I know Becca linked in the comments to a blog I published today about, it's a deeper dive on ebooks, and I can walk through some of the key insights on that if you want. If you have questions too, and you're still here live, type them into the comments. I'm happy to, answer those as well. Okay. So John has a question. Does a longer ebook represent greater authority? No. As far as like most ebooks, it can be anywhere from 1,500 words to 7,500 words. It just depends on a bunch of different variables. The key thing, and actually I'll just show this really quick. It's probably easier than trying to explain it. I'm going to highlight a couple key things. So I'm going to go to my screen share again. We'll share. This is the blog post that we linked to, my number 1 secret after 12 years. And again, it's all about ebooks. Okay, so let me just get this. I got to turn my do not disturb on because Becca and I we're texting too in the background. Okay. So basically there's 2 key parts, right? 50% of the ebook is your story. You got to have that because especially in the age of AI, where all this generic how-to content, you can stamp your fingers and create generic how-to content with AI. You got to share your story. People want a story. Who are you? Can I relate to you? Would I vibe with you? Would I enjoy working with you? Are you a real person? Do you have the same values that I have? Where did you come from? Why do you do what you do? So that's your personal story. then your expertise. This is your best stuff, right? Don't hold anything back. And this is where you can do it in the form of a case study. You can do it in the form of your own story. You can share examples, templates, formulas. A lot of people will just skip right to part 2. That's a mistake, right? You got to share your story too. Now, some of the FAQs that we're going to get, and I get into more detail about how to tell your story the right way. Use that hero's journey framework, right? Where you started, the journey, the transformation, where you're at now. Same thing for case studies, what it was like, what happened, what the outcome is now. That's the case study formula right there. Super simple, right? What it was like, what happened, what it's like now. This is all in that blog post on the LinkedIn Riches website that Becca linked to. Otherwise, just go to linkedinriches.com. Under free, just go to blog, and then you'll see it here at the top, why I'm revealing my number 1 LinkedIn secret. And then there's a few FAQs because people will ask, okay. Can I use AI to write it? Because that's the first question everyone asks. Yes and no. AI can do some of it. Here's the problem with AI. It's not super good at context in terms of like your personality, the little quirks about you, putting the real life you through the ebook is the secret sauce. It needs to sound like you, not a robot trying to sound like you. If your ebook is just super generic and doesn't have your, style, the way that you talk, the way that you communicate, it won't work. It won't resonate. So if you're really good with AI and you've trained it like crazy to, know who you are, what you're like, your writing style, all that, that's great, but it doesn't always work. So that's one thing. How do you want to use it? We talked about that, the LinkedIn messaging, as a follow-up to conversations, put it on your website, featured item on your LinkedIn page. What if I don't have an interesting story? Everyone says that. That's not true. Everyone's inherently interesting because you're a human being, right? So you've got some sort of story, right? What did you do? Why are you doing what you do? What's your passion? Have you helped somebody get an incredible outcome? Share that, right? Share that story. You should not charge for your ebook. You want to give this away for free. This is your number 1 kind of lead magnet. You can publish books on Amazon, which I do, and it's great. And I can talk about that later and sell them on Amazon. But for your ebook, it's all about getting people to look at it, consume it, go through it. The best part is ebooks are good forever. Like I've had my ebooks for multiple years. Same with our clients. And this is all you need. This is what it works, right? Over and over and over again. One ebook again and again and again and again. So let me get back. I'll stop the screen sharing. I'll pop in, see if we have comments. If you've got questions, just put that into the comments. I'm happy to go deeper on any of this. We do write ebooks for clients. So if you want to bid on, hey, can you guys create an ebook for me? What does that look like? Go to nemomediagroup.com, fill out that lead form where it says get leads now, the big orange button, or just email me or Becca and we can get you a quote on that as well. So yeah, any specific questions about free resources, services, anything like that, fastest way, just email John at nemomediagroup.com and just say, hey, I want more free tips, or I'm looking for the done for you services, or, what would an ebook look like to have you guys write it for me? Because that is a key thing. Like it really is the number 1 thing after 12 years of doing this. You don't need to publish endless videos, endless blog posts, endless newsfeed updates. You don't need to comment on everyone's status updates. You don't need to try to play the algorithm game. It's really about client-facing profile, build a list of your ideal prospects on LinkedIn using Sales Navigator, reach out to them one-on-one, each, how many ever you can reach out to in a day. And there's lots of ways we can talk about that. And then basically use that permission-based 1-sentence message. Hey, would you be interested in my best free tips on blank? Can I send you a free copy of my ebook on blank? Anyone that says yes has raised their hand. They're qualified. They're a lead. Remember, on the front end, since you built this list in Sales Navigator, they should be your ideal exact type of client who would want to spend money with you, right? So you can, immediately know if they fit my criteria for an ideal client and they raise their hand, yes, they want my free tips for my ebook. Now it's worth following up and personalizing. So don't just deliver the ebook and disappear. Deliver the ebook and look at their profile page and go, hey, here's the ebook. So excited to hear your thoughts. By the way, I see you live in Chicago. sorry, you're a Bears fan, apologies in advance, anything like that, where you can start building rapport and one-on-one. It's worth doing it at that point because the person's interested in your topic, interested in solving these problems in their business. So potentially you're going to be a great vendor for them, a great provider. So that's what I'm talking about as far as, how to qualify people and do this process. And the ebook just works wonders for that. So we got more questions. Let's see. Oh, this is a good question. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Should our hero's journey show weakness? 10 million%. Like, people want authenticity. People want connection. They want transparency. That doesn't mean, John, that you need to turn it into an episode of Oprah or Dr. Phil and like overshare. But like, all of us want to know that the person we're reading about is relatable. So when I share my story in LinkedIn Riches, I talk about how I quit a safe 6-figure day job with no money. I had no savings. I had $30,000 in credit card debt. I had my wife and 3 sons under the age of 10 at home. I had no safety net. If it failed, I was screwed, right? So that's me being really authentic. And I share struggles and, lessons learned and failures. And I do that all the time in my content because that's real life. Like, I think some people on social media try to fake it and pretend everything's perfect and I easily made millions and never had a problem and this and that. Like, that's just not real life. I'm not going to be able to trust you and relate to you if I don't feel like you've been through it and learned, because that's my experience. I know Rick Warren, purpose-driven life author, pastor, is a great example where he talks about, he's like, I will never hire someone to the leadership team until I know what they've been through. Like, if they can be real about their story and talk about their journey and their struggles and their frustrations and their obstacles. He's like, because they can't really minister to people and pastor to people if they don't have that empathy and the ability to share their own journey. So yeah, I mean, share your struggles, share your mistakes, share your, obstacles and how you overcame them. Like, don't stop there. Like, that would be the big thing, is like, hey, for example, I have a story that I share in this book and I talk to prospects all the time about, of when I was first starting out, when I had no money and I was putting everything on personal credit cards, I tried to use Facebook ads. And so I was trying to sell an online course at the time, a LinkedIn Riches online course, do it yourself. I spent $45,000 on 3 different Facebook ad agencies on personal credit cards, and I made 0 sales. And to this day, if you say Facebook ads, I run the other way, right? Huge failure, huge whiff, put me in a huge hole, but I didn't stop. Like, that's not where the story stopped, right? I learned from that Facebook misery and that horrible experience of, okay, I need to figure out other ways to generate leads. The magic, because this was at the height of, oh, you can print money on demand, Facebook ads, automated webinar, online course. You just like sit on a beach and push a button and make money. And, I bought into that and tried it and it didn't work for me. And I was like, okay, well, here's what I learned from that. And I put that into my content. So, okay. So more questions. Peggy says, how many tips do you typically do in an ebook? I mean, it's really up to you. I would say whatever's going to get people the quickest wins possible is the key. So what's going to help them move the needle in their business? What's the fastest and easiest way that they can solve a problem or remove a pain point that doesn't feel like climbing Mount Everest? That's the stuff you want to put in an ebook so people can build momentum, take action, utilize your tips and go, wow, this really works. And, oh, this is great. Now I just want to hire John or Peggy or whoever to do it for me. I really like this. All right. Is the scheduling link inside the ebook or not? How do we ask for a one-on-one if they don't ask up front? So yes, depending on how you want to filter clients, Melissa, AKA Stephanie, I'm never letting that go. Depending on how you want to filter people. And again, the whole process I put in this book, LinkedIn Riches. So if you haven't read this, go to linkedinriches.com/free or click on the free button. You can download the whole book for free. Kindle, PDF, or audiobook. It's all free. If you want the hard copy on Amazon, you can buy it for $10, whatever it is. But it depends on how you want to qualify your leads. So some people are like, yeah, I want to book calls. At the end of the ebook, I'll put in a link to have a free strategy session, whatever. Other people are like, no, I want to qualify further with like a type form or something like that. Either way, have a call to action at the end of the ebook depending on what your sales process is and how far along you are, that's what I recommend. So if you're like, listen, I still want to learn more. I'm fine doing, free sessions, learning more. Like I did that for years and years and years until I figured out, okay, prior to the call, the live one-on-one call, what do I need to know to make sure this is a good lead? I can move forward. I can close a deal, as opposed to, oh man, these same issues come up in every call and I can't close a deal. And I talk about that at length in the book, LinkedIn Riches. But like, for example, I used to just immediately book one-on-one calls with people without any sort of type form or qualifier. And inevitably the same issues would come up. Like, oh, this all sounds great. After I spent an hour with them one-on-one, this all sounds great. I love what you're saying, but I have a business partner. I have to go run it by them. Oh, shoot. Well, I wish I would have known that before the call. We could have had everyone on. Or this all sounds great, but I don't have budget for it right now. I'm just poking around looking for free tips. Things like that, where I was like, I eventually then reverse engineered the most common objections or reasons a call didn't move forward. And I put them into that type form. So that way I would know, okay, if I'm going to go into a one-on-one call, here's some checks, boxes checked that I need to know. They have a business partner. Is the business partner here? Do they have budget? How urgent is the need? Have they tried other solutions? So those are great questions. Yeah. And thank you. Yeah. Becca's putting in the direct link. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I was on the wrong beach, Rick. Exactly right. Yeah. And here's the Amazon link Becca put up too. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being on. You guys are amazing. Thank you for sticking with me. I know we went long, but man, we covered a lot of ground. What I'd love to do is if you have more questions, couple of things. You can email me, john@nemomediagroup.com. You can also just go to nemomediagroup.com, and that will give you all our tips and scripts for free. You can also fill out that type form. So again, just go to nemomediagroup.com. Click the big orange button that says Get Leads Now. In about 60 seconds, you can fill out this form. Tell us more about your unique situation, your business. We can get back to you and say, hey, yes, we can help you. We can offer, X, Y, and Z. We can do X, A, B, and C. Or, hey, actually, you more need this. Here's some free resources to get that accomplished, because we'd love to bring more value to each and every one of you. So thank you. Appreciate all you guys being on the live stream today. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay, because tech God's willing, fingers crossed, we'll have a replay that I'll send out to everybody too, because I know we covered a ton of ground. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Make sure there's no more last second comments. Okay. Oh, there's one more. All right. Yes, I have a type form. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Okay. Well done, Melissa, AKA Stephanie. Great way to end. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon on another live stream. And if you have more questions, just go to nemomediagroup.com. Click on the orange button to get leads. We also have a contact form, all kinds of resources. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.